Here we are.
Oh, right. Recording started, but does that mean we're live?
Yes, we are live.
All right. Hello, everyone. This is the author's dilemma, and boy, do we have a dilemma this week.
We have so many dilemmas every week. We just don't always talk about them.
That's true. Oh, yeah. Now I see on the left side, streaming has started.
Yes, there we go.
We are live. Welcome to the show. Obviously, this is a surprise because, this year we are doing things a little different. A lot of loose, a lot of fast. And we're playing loose and fast, and we're getting there. A lot of things are going on for the both of us, and we're trying to get these shows in here because it is important. And I think people have reached out to me. They are getting things out of this, and we didn't want to stop that. So welcome to the Author's Dilemma. I am J.E.Jack. I write urban fantasy and paranormal thrillers.
I'm Jennifer Carr. I write Christian romantic suspense and clean contemporary romance.
And we are so happy that you're here with us. Like I said, if this is a new program we're trying out, we had one that we used for all of last year in all of the shows, and it worked out very well. But they upped their prices, and since it was kind of the show was based off the charity of our goodwill.
Yeah. We don't get paid for this, folks. Yeah, obviously.
Not yet. But so it just became a bridge too far and a price too high. So we were looking at alternatives, and we came across this and we're trying this out, and we're figuring it out. So, and we don't
may look different next time.
it may be a different, sir. Who knows? Like I said, we're learning as we go, and that's the thing. This is the beauty of having a business, right? Yeah. This is the beauty of starting things. You're going to have hiccups. I mean, heck, if you went to our first show last year, it was, I don't want to say it was horrible. That's bad.
It was sweet.
Yeah. It was earnest.
It was cute. Yeah.
Yeah. But it got better as it went. And same thing with this. So like I said, as we try these new things out, we're going to get better. And we're on a different night. Obviously tonight's Monday night. But if you're listening to this on your streaming or your podcast platform, well, you're listening to this anytime you want to listen to it. But, and we, like I said, we really appreciate it. If you get anything out of this evening, be sure to like and subscribe. Or if you have any questions, be sure to reach out to us at authorsdilemma@gmail.com. All right. Jennifer Carr, what is going on in your business?
Jeez Louise. Well, most importantly, I will say this first and foremost, my next book, which is book 3 of the Real American Country series, it's called Let Me Love You, comes out on March 4th. So we are a week away from release date, and I am so excited. And so I'm doing like a big launch day party that night at 7:00 Central. It'll be streamed, Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff. It's going to be fun, doing giveaways and all that. So that's first and foremost. March 4th, Let Me Love You comes out. And that's
Fat Tuesday, isn't it?
Ooh, is it? I don't know. That sounds fun. Well, maybe we'll make it Mardi Gras themed. That would be fun.
I will be working.
Congratulations. I'm glad we're doing a book launch instead.
Yes, I'd much rather be doing what you're doing.
No, seriously, no. So that's my most exciting thing. And it's so funny because it feels like I literally, and it was October, so it wasn't that far away, but I feel like I literally just launched a book. But this is my goal, right? My goal is to bam, 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 get them out because they're all written. They're just in the editing queue. And so that's my goal, is just to get them out there because I love my characters and I love my books and I want them out there. But I also am an author and this is a business and I want to make money. So that's where we are on that.
And we have conversations about that from time to time, and we should, tonight, if we could probably talk about that some more.
Sure.
So your last book came out in October, and you're getting another book out 4 months. About 3 months later.
Yeah, something like that.
And okay. And your launch, are you going to have like an invite to come, or are you just going to do it live, or like you have to RSVP, or what's the?
You don't have to RSVP. I will say that if you will follow my page. There's going to be giveaways on my Facebook page at J. Carr Writes on Facebook all day. Like there's going to be different things. You can win a copy of the book, a copy of the ebook. I'll be doing bundle giveaways. I've got a couple of really good ones. There's like a grand prize if you tune into the live. So, it's going to be a fun day all over the place. But yeah, the launch party is at 7. Like I said, it'll be on YouTube and Facebook, and it'll just pop up live when it's time to be live. And I've got right now, my editor will be with me, and she will be talking about, behind the scenes stuff and how we went through the process of editing it. And sometimes she likes to tell secrets on me because she's my sister. And
of course.
That's fun. And then I've got a couple of my ARC readers that are going to be there. So yeah, that'll be great. It's going to be fun.
All right. So after this book is released, when do you think the following? I mean, do you have a schedule? Like, because I know that you're really organized when it comes to this, and I've got to get better about doing these myself. Because I'm like, as soon as it's done, it's out the door.
Yeah, and it's so funny because and I can talk about this too. I went to a writers conference this weekend, and one of the guys was talking about how you really shouldn't put all of your book launch events in one basket. Like it shouldn't all happen at one time. It should happen before, during, and after. And so a book launch carries through beyond just the day the book comes out. And so I thought that was kind of cool and something that I'm kind of working on and working through.
Okay, I'm kind of confused. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. So, we talk about launch day all the time. That's the book, the day the book is published, the day that it's available to the public. And he was saying, and this is what I do, is I start like 12 weeks before on one day, the book is launched. No, your book is launching slowly even after launch day. So you have to make sure that you're still doing all of the same activities. I'm sorry, my dogs are barking in the background. But you have to keep doing all of the same activities and carry through because your momentum will just stop.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
now I'm following you. Okay. So
yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. It's I thought I didn't understand the whole okay, I got it.
Yeah, but it's a new book to somebody every day, right? Somebody's discovering your book every day, so you have to push through and keep that same excitement and momentum. So it'll really be kind of a launch week and a launch month after. But yes, to your previous question about do I have a date for the next one? Yes, October 21st is the launch date for the next one because I have it all scheduled out. It's all planned through 2026, I think. Yeah,
that's quite
maybe spring 2027. I can't remember, but I think definitely.
Okay. And those books are already written, so okay.
Yes, and so that's why I can do that. That's why I have dates for those because they're ready to be like put on a schedule. Whereas I have other projects in the works that I have no idea when it's going to happen.
So the event that you went to this past weekend, was there anything else like that you learned or you thought about or?
Oh my gosh, it was like drinking from a fire hydrant. It was just ridiculous amount of information just flying at me. We got there Friday.
Well,
we got some early. Yep.
Let's talk about the event. What was the event?
Oh yeah. Well, it was a very niche event because it's the Asheville Christian Writers Conference, which, so it was a small, 120 people conference for small Christian writers. It is compared to normal conferences.
Well,
apparently
true, but
this was small. Like they were very clear that this is a very small gathering of writers. And I was like, okay. And I went in very anxious and very, I thought there was going to be a lot of pressure for a lot of things, and there wasn't. People were very nice, very helpful, but the education part.
I would hope so if it was a Christian event.
You know what though?
You would hope, right? I mean,
you would hope, and it wasn't all of the education was not geared at how to write Christian fiction. It was the basis of it was because we are Christians, we write to glorify God. But the education was so helpful and so useful in that we learned about how to use our social media platforms. We learned about how to write better dialogue, good dialogue. We had it was fantastic. And so I'm still digesting it, right? I literally got back yesterday. And so I'm still kind of pulling it apart, going back through my notes and going, okay, that was fantastic information. So maybe as things start, popping back to the forefront of my brain and I catch up on my sleep, then we can talk more about some of that stuff. But it was so good.
That's really cool. I need to. So going back to the whole treating your business as a business and not a hobby, you have to invest in it. You have to invest your
Yeah.
time. You have to invest money. You have to invest blood, sweat, tears. Sometimes it
Yeah.
feels like it. And you have to sit down and write
Yep.
first and foremost, and then all the ancillary stuff like, social media,
Yeah.
editing, all like that. But I need to start investing more money into those other things.
Yeah.
So I need to start doing that myself.
There's some really
So
good ones that I've looked at. I'm like, when's the next one? I'm ready to go. So we'll see.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely need to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
in my world, nothing
Yeah.
has changed so much. The book is still doing pretty good.
Excellent.
The audiobook should be done hopefully by the end of next month. So
That's
that
great.
should be coming out. Still working with the narrator, and he's doing a fantastic job. Let's see. I did get a review, which I thought was kind of interesting.
It
I mean,
is.
I guess it's I got a 4-star review for Lou Giroux,
Which is great.
which is great. I'm not
Yes.
complaining at all.
Right.
And this person said it would have been a 5-star had it had a sequel. It not immediately after finishing the book, they went and looked to see if it had a sequel, and since it didn't, it made them mad, so they gave me a 4-star.
How
And I'm
dare
like,
you?
I'm like, all right, okay, thanks.
It's what you
But
get for being selfish.
yeah, how dare I not have,
Yeah.
But hey, there is another book on the horizon. I'm almost halfway through. So
That's so
I got
awesome.
about 40,000 words in on it. And and it's amazing because I work law enforcement. That's my day job. And there's a lot of good stuff going on with national events and things of that nature coming into my area. I'm working a lot of hours. And so the fact that I'm still able to get some words in is a great thing. And honestly, I'm really grateful that Lou Giroux is doing pretty good, because had the book not done so well, I probably would have taken more time off to focus on my day job with just because I don't have a whole lot of bandwidth right now. But since that book is doing well and people are clamoring for a second book, I'm definitely like, okay, it's giving me more encouragement and lighting a fire under my rear to continue on and push forward. So, and like I said, is it a hobby or is it a business, right? You got to treat it as such. Sometimes you don't want to do things, but you do them anyway, because that's the business.
That's the business. So you're writing the second one, have you found that writing a series isn't so bad? Because at first you were not a
It's
series
hard.
fan. Is it?
Well, it's hard in the fact that I had to remember what happened in book 1.
Yes, I do that. I go all the way back to the beginning sometimes.
And then certain characters names, like
Mhm.
I don't want them too similar, but and I can't really get into it right now, but there's a group coming on scene now, and I wanted to call them a certain, anyway, I can't really get into it, but the names are a problem. So I'll have to work on that.
That's fair.
But I will say this, working in a series, it has given me more leeway because now I'm getting ideas about book 3, book 4, like
Mhm.
overarching stories, like, oh, well, why did this happen? Oh, well, this happened because of this. And then, I can look much farther down the way. The depressing thing is just the fact that I'm a slow writer, and that's not going to be done for another year or so, or 2 years, who knows? But it's pretty cool, because even with this book, even though I am a discovery writer, I think I know who's behind this one, which is great, because 90% of the time I have no idea. Like the first one, I had no idea until literally last 5,000 words.
That's
So
hilarious.
yeah. So no, it's they're totally different. And the thing I like about standalone books is once you finish it, you can move on. Totally different taste, totally different. I think it's kind of like eating a steak dinner, right? If you have too much, if you have steak dinner every night, eventually it's going to be bleh. But tonight I have Indian food, or tomorrow night I have Chinese food, or whatever, just different types of food that makes it interesting and really good. And that's why I look at books when I'm writing them. So writing in a series, I don't know. It's they both have pros and cons, I guess.
They absolutely do. No, for sure. And what's really funny is at the conference, so before the conference leading up to it and that kind of thing, I knew that there would be an opportunity to sit down, or I hoped there would be an opportunity to sit down and talk to a literary agent. Not because I don't want to stay self-published, but because I have an idea for a Christian romantic comedy series that I've written the first book for, the first rough draft of a book for. And I would really, because the Christian fiction market is hard to get into. Like, if you are self-published, there is a stigma around it that says it's cringe and it's cheesy, right? And nobody wants to read it because they're like, this is terrible. It's trash.
Right.
I get it. I've read those books. That's not what I write, but nobody's going to take my word for that, right? They have to pick up the book to read it. So anyway,
Right.
I took this manuscript and I took a cover letter and all this stuff that said that, the website said she'd want. And I scheduled an appointment with her. I had 15 minutes. And when I say I had 15 minutes, I mean, she started the timer when my butt hit the chair. And at 15 minutes, she's like, all right, have a good day. And like mid-sentence, it didn't matter. It was like, it's good to meet you. Have a good day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I sat down with her and I said, I'm Jennifer Carr. I write this. I've got this. And she was like, well, let me just stop you right there. You need to decide. Are you going to be a Christian romantic suspense writer or a Christian rom-com writer? Are you going to write clean contemporary? What are you going to write? Who are you? And I'm like, I write them all. And she's like, you got to pick one. And I said, I can't pick one. And so,
like, lies.
Right? I'm like,
I can be whatever I want to be. I'm an indie
that's
author.
exactly right. And so, that's one of those pickles that I was just like, I was really hoping to turn that one over and letting it find its own legs and go. But she was like, you have to pick one. And I said, nope, I like diversity too much.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? I mean, that's the beauty of being an independent author, is you aren't chunked into one path. And, and I just, now that I've done this for almost 5 years now, I couldn't imagine not being able to do something because someone says no. I'm like, no, this is my story. And this is how I'm going to do it.
Yep. And, I get it. You were just, talking about being able to write the standalones and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I like being able to choose what I write when I want to write it. I do like my series though, because I love my characters and I fall in love with them and I don't want to leave them. So, but that's a different problem.
I also think that there's one thing to give yourself a self deadline.
Yeah.
But if you're being given a deadline, okay, you have until, I think the stress would just stress me out. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And that was, there's so many, I just keep going back and forth and I just keep thinking, because I don't want to market one more thing, right? I want somebody else to do the editing and pay for the editing and to do all the stuff, because I don't want to, because I got this over here that I want to pay attention to, but we'll see.
But then again, I guess, I don't know, if the book was doing well and this is the only thing that you're doing, well, then maybe, because if this is the only thing I was doing, I could definitely write, more than I write now, but.
Right. Yeah, no, I have an advantage. I do get to write way more than some people get to write. And so I do have that. I'm lucky. I get it.
Well, no, that's not. I wasn't.
No, but I just wanted to, that's why I have so many projects and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I have that advantage. It's fine. Yeah.
So what's going on in the news world today?
Oh my goodness. There's always something. Always something. I think right now the biggest thing is the target that readers are trying to put on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited. They got mad because Amazon stopped letting readers download their ebooks. And it helps us because it keeps people from being able to pirate stuff. But they're mad because they've paid for it, if they've paid for ebooks. Now, Kindle Unlimited is a different story because you're paying for a subscription. But they were mad because they can't download their books. And they're like, well, I bought them. I own them. And technically you don't. I don't think you ever actually owned them. Like, I'm pretty sure that's in their agreements when you buy their books, is that, you've paid for them, but they can take them back at any time. So they got mad about that and they wanted to boycott Kindle and Kindle Unlimited. And I'm like, listen, you're not hurting Bezos. You're going to hurt the authors that have their books out there. Just FYI.
Which they already have, because the Kindle Unlimited, or the pay rate, dropped.
It did.
Right. So now it's what is it?
0.003 cents per page. I think it might have been 0.0035 cents per page, which it was 0.005. And then it dropped.
Yeah. So that obviously, kind of I mean, yes. So, it creates a change for those that rely on that. But
it does.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but yeah, don't go boycotting. As a matter of fact, if you have Kindle Unlimited, there comes a point where you read more than the value. Like you're getting paid to read, basically, right? Because you're going to read more than what you've paid for the service, and so just keep reading on Kindle Unlimited. It's fine.
So, what is the future? What does the future hold?
I
don't know.
I don't know either. I think it's really interesting. I think that for me personally, it's going to probably stay in self-publishing for a very long, if not permanent time. Just hearing from, because all the people, there was, with the exception of one person who taught anything at the conference, not to keep harping on that, but they were all traditionally published in some form or fashion.
Right.
And they do all the same things we already do, but they have less say in what happens with their stuff. They were saying you had when I sat down and talked to Lynette, she said you have to have 1,000. They prefer you to have 1,000 newsletter subscribers. They want you to have a massive presence on social media, at least 2 platforms, kind of thing. And the reason for that is because they don't do marketing. They don't do marketing for you. The publishing house, the agency, none of them do marketing for you. You do it yourself still.
Then what's the point? I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't think I could. Yeah, no. The only way that would happen is if they actually came to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't see that happening anytime soon. So
yeah, and the benefit that there were a couple of pros that I thought they negotiate your contracts for you, right? A literary agent's going to negotiate the contracts between you and whomever. They're going to take a cut, right? But at the same time, they're negotiating contracts. They're negotiating if there's a deal for rights in any way, shape, or form, whether it's the audiobooks or movies, whatever. They take care of that. They're working behind the scenes all the time. And I'm like, that sounds great, but I'm not guaranteed that either, right? Like it could just be that you've sent my book and somebody's going to edit it and I don't have to pay for the editor. Or the cover designer.
Nice thing, I guess the nice thing about having an agent is you have someone in your corner that is because they get paid too, right? I mean, so it's like a force multiplier that not only are you wanting to get paid, but they want to get paid as well. So they're going to try to get the best deal possible. So I mean, I could see that, but I don't know. I mean, that's I guess.
But you don't know until it happens. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It does. So I don't know. So for me, the future is probably going to be self-publishing. End of.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think that's going to be the case for me too. In fact, and I'm just kind of a stubborn person anyway. If I get somewhere with this, it's just because I did that.
Yeah.
And when I say I did that, no, it wasn't just me. It's been my wife. I mean, she's helping me with this, and all my you create your own support team. You do have a team, and it might not be traditional, but it is in the fact that you don't get there by yourself.
Right.
You do have to make friends. You do have to make acquaintances. You network and learn and get better as you go. And so it's not a singular event. It's never. Now it does feel solitary quite a bit, but it doesn't have to be that way.
No, for sure. And it's fun, especially if you like learning new things about yourself and about the business and about the process. It can be fun. And even when it's hard, you look back, because I look back, when my first book was 2022 or something like that. And I look back and I think, I actually had fun. Was it easy? No, but I really enjoyed figuring it out. Does that book need some work? Yeah, probably. At some point, I'm probably going to pull it down, revisit, and, republish. But at the same time, I have that flexibility and freedom to do that.
It is so weird to look back and see the books that you finished, have in hand or whatever. Like, I'll go every once in a while, I'll pull it out a book and look at it, and like, I don't remember writing this.
Yeah.
like I remember writing it. But reading this page or reading this passage, I'm like, I don't remember writing that.
Yeah,
and it's kind of weird because it's like, well, I did obviously, but it's just, it's not. It's like a reverse deja vu. It's like, who is this person? Like, what the heck,
Yeah. And I'm not the same person today that I was when that
No,
book
that's true.
published, you know, like
Well,
we've all
and
grown.
that's the thing is, well, right. Definitely as a writer, you really have to, I don't want to say as a good writer. I mean, because we're all learning, we're all getting better. But
Right.
I mean, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with the situations that you see. You have to be, and I think to be a good writer, you have to be observant. You have to pay attention to things, and that's what I don't know. It's just writing is such a unique experience that I can't adequately explain unless you're a writer yourself. And
Absolutely.
and I wish I could share. I've had many people like, "Oh, I'd love to do that," or I can't. I'm like, you really can. You could
You
surprise
can.
yourself if you just try. But some people are just so far in their limited thinking that, and that's fine. I mean, but there are some people that don't want to be writers. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
that's fine. But
They
for
think they
those,
do. They think they do. They think they
right?
do.
Yes, it's kind of like, well, everybody wants to be the overnight success, but they don't want the 10 years prior to the overnight success.
That's right.
And you know,
Oh,
you
I
have that
hate that.
you have to go through that time period to turn you into the kind of person that deserves that success. But
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Because I don't think I would be ready for an overnight success right now. Like just as
I,
a person, I don't think I'm ready for that.
no, it's weird. I mean, like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm finding a little bit of success with this book, and
Right.
and and so people are reaching out, and I know I did it before with the whole what do I do with my hands. I know it was kind of a diatribe when we first started, and but seriously, it is like that. Or when people compliment you and like, oh, and I'm not saying this, but literally someone reached out and said, oh, you're a genius, and I'm like, no, 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 man, no, I'm just the guy that had an idea. Like it was just, I didn't,
Yes.
I didn't read, I didn't create the wheel. I just saw something and made something similar.
I got lost in my daydream a little too long.
Yeah, yeah, and so as we grow, yeah, you need time to acclimatize yourself to that growth too,
Yeah.
because there's nothing I can't stand worse than someone that starts believing their own hype and then they start alienating the people that got them there. In fact, there was an author that I followed this past week who got really controversial with. I'm not going to go into it because it's political, but got really controversial. And now I'm not going to follow that person anymore because it was
Mhm.
just too much. Like
Yeah.
it's one thing to, in my opinion, it's one thing to state something, but to get mean and to focus on
Oh,
individuals or just totally, even if you had a bad experience with the government, not all workers are bad.
right.
So I don't know. I mean, and then they're very successful. I don't think me not following him anymore is not going to change anything. But I don't ever want to be like that. Like
Yeah.
yeah, don't get me wrong. I believe in what I believe, and if someone disagrees with me, yeah, I can have a conversation. And if you get rude, I'll treat you just the same. But I'm never, Anyway, sorry, that was a that was a rabbit trail that I decided to follow down. But going back to the whole growth period piece of this is, as you do find success, money does not change the person. All it
Right.
does is amplify who you are.
Ooh.
So
Mhm.
so if you are a nice person and you make, and you come into money, you're going to be nice, nicer, you'll be more generous or whatever. If you are a jerk, you're going to be more of a jerk. So
Yeah.
what kind of, so that kind of goes back to what kind of person do you want to be? And,
Mm.
if you're honest with yourself and honest where you want to go. So money is just an amplifier. And so, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, success too, because
Right.
and you're constantly seeking that next piece of validation and the next words of affirmation, and you're just like, "When will it ever be enough?" When no, you have to remember who you are all the way
Hmm.
from the beginning to the end, where you started, because listen, somebody will pick up that first book, and somebody's gonna be like, ooh, I don't think I'm gonna pick up the second book, And so, but unless you have the presence about you, the humility about you, even if you're 15 books down the line, and people can click on your Facebook or whatever social media will happen 15 books down the line and be like, this is a person that they may have had a rough go with their first book, but I like them as a person, because it makes a difference who you are and who you portray to the world. And hopefully it's genuine. People can
Hopefully
tell.
so.
People
Yeah.
can tell.
Yeah. Boy, there's a lot of people that are fake, that's yes.
Yeah. Well,
And
especially when you're looking for people's validation, it tends to you kind of put on that mask because that's what they validated the first time, even if it was done.
Well, that's what's so crazy too, is as you find success, I mean, everybody has a fear of failure.
Yeah.
But what some people don't realize they have is they might have a unknown fear of success.
Ooh.
Because of the changes that it requires. Because like I said, even with the new attention that I'm getting, I'm still finding it like, this is really weird. I don't like this.
Yes.
I mean, some parts of me do, because it's like, okay, I'm finally getting validated for the work that I'm doing, but at the same time, it's just like, I'm just one person. I mean, and I don't want to be like the reverse, like humbling, like, oh, like pat my back because I'm so humble. I don't want that either.
You're such a good guy. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it requires, I don't know. So, that's something else to think about as your success, or as your momentum grows into, your endeavors.
Oh, for sure. Well, you're not guaranteed that book 3 is going to be a success, or you're not guaranteed
that's
book
true.
2 is going to, like, you could be humbled really
That's
fast.
the problem I have with the series.
Yeah.
Going back to writing series is now I feel very stressed because I want this book to be just as good. Obviously. I mean, obviously we want all our books to be good, but now I feel even more like I think I told you this before, and I think I've said it on the show before. Like, if I have a stinker of a book, okay, no big deal. We just will forget about that and go to the next one. But if I have a stinker of a second book, well, no one's going to pick up the third book, even if it's fantastic. So
you might be surprised, though, because I will say with book 3, I've had ARC readers who read book 2, and they liked book 2, but they were like, I'm not going to lie, book 3, I like it way better than book 2. And I get it. I feel the same way. I like book 3 better than I liked book 2, and I wrote it. So, but there are still people who said it was a 5-star book. They loved it. It spoke to them. It moved them. So every book is for different readers, right? So you just may.
So let's delve into that. What was the biggest difference between book 2 and book 3? Like, did you grow as a writer, or did you? I mean,
I connected differently with the story. Okay. I really thought I was connecting with my characters in book 2, because sweet little Cassidy Ray, she was facing some really high pressure and expectations, and she was working through it. And I get that, because I was that kid. I worked through those things and I dealt with those things. And for me, it was very, it was cathartic in a lot of ways. But then book 3 came about, and it's more of a romantic suspense, and I thrive on romantic suspense. That's where I'm good at romantic suspense. And so when I wrote that story, I connected with it more deeply, I guess. And so that makes a difference. But for the people who did need to read about Cassidy's struggles with pressure and working through and finding her own way, it resonated. But book 3 resonated with me more deeply.
Okay. And that makes total sense too. Yeah. That's fantastic. So. All right. So we are at the 35. I think we're at the 35-minute mark. There's no time. There's no timer on this.
I see 34 minutes. I can see the timer.
See. Okay. So this is another thing that we're dealing with this new service is, I'm a guest to the show. Whereas before we both had access to the command center. But I think
for lack of trying. We tried.
For lack of trying. Trust me, Jen has done wonderful going back and forth with the people behind the service, which is actually probably on our Live with One stream that you're probably seeing. But no, I mean, it's just growing pains. We'll get through it, and hopefully you will laugh with us.
We're laughing so we don't cry.
Yeah. I'm crying out deep down on the inside. But moving on.
Yeah.
Nah. All right. So the next show we will do will probably be in March sometime. Unfortunately, we can't nail down the time. So if you're listening to this on the road or wherever you are and you're not near your social media, be sure to check us out on Facebook because that's where we usually do our updates. And yeah, so probably the next month we'll be back. We're shooting for once a month at least.
Yeah.
If we do 2 a month, even better. But
I
once a month, we do what we can, and eventually, once our books take off, and this is the only thing we're doing, well, maybe we could revisit the once a week long format. When we're living in our cabanas on the beach somewhere. But
That's right.
until then, we do what we can.
Oh my gosh, it's worth it. It'll be good, and hopefully somebody got something out of tonight. If not, I had fun, so that's all that matters.
Well, no, I mean, in the end, we all do this for our own amusement. I write for my own amusement. I'm doing this show for my own amusement, and I hope, and like you said, I hope people get something out of it, and sometimes people do. So.
Yeah, and you know what? If anything we said triggered something, a question or a thought, we want to hear about it. You're welcome to send us an email and say something about it and be like, hey, what did you mean by that?
Yes.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. It has been a wonderful time spending with you. Be sure to hit that like or follow button. We appreciate you, and we will see you next time. God bless.
Bye.